Okay, the last time I did the two sides, and now I want to go ahead and do the top and the bottom rail. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, here we go. Got a piece of poplar, so I'm going to cut this out of poplar. So it's not bad. You can make them out of pine, like I said. I'll go ahead and start with this bottom. No, let's go ahead and start with the top. Because this is, I still got to cut it down. It's 3/4 inch. So we're going to need the saw set up to a 1 inch. Because we're going to go across here 1 inch. And then we're going to do the measurement on this here. So I think I already have these cut to size. And it is, let's see if we find the other one. Here was the original bottom rail, and the bottom rail measures across top to bottom 17 and a 17 3/4 from top to bottom, 3/4 inches here on the top, and then on the side will be on the side be 1/2 inch, and then just your little cuts here. So let's see. We'll just go ahead and measure again. So if we measure the whole distance of it, it's going to come out to 19 inches. The lengthwise 19 inches here. And then we have 1 inch across here from this point to this point. And then I do a 5/8 for here. I do a 5/8 cut. You could do a 3/4 inch cut. Just got to make sure when you build the sides, you know that you might have to gap that a little bit more, a little bit deeper. So if you go 3/4 inch here, because you can't cut that, just make sure this is a little bit deeper in here, okay? Because that's going to make up for that 1/4 inch deeper, so your plastic frame is going to fit down in there. So I already got this thing. It's already 19 inches, so I'm going to cut it out 19 inches. So we're going to go a 1 inch. Take the ruler, check it anyways. Okay. Let me go and cut this in here. Okay, now this is 1 inch across here, so I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to cut 5/8 thick. Got to raise the blade up a little bit. Okay, now it's 5/8 thick, 5/8 thick, and it's 1 inch across the top here. And then 19 inches for the whole measurement. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the bottom, this piece here, and I'm going to end up having to cut this down. This is 19 inches. I'll end up cutting it down to 17 3/4, and then we'll go ahead and make this. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this length. So I need a 3/4 inch across the top and a 1/2 inch on the sides. 3/4 inch. Now I'm going to need a half inch. Okay, there you go. So I've got a 3/4 inch and a half inch, and now I need to cut it down to 17 3/4, and I'll just lay this on top of here. Let me move this off to the side a little bit. There's the top. Like this piece. There's nice little pieces of wood left. Like this little shim piece here. You can always keep it for something else. I keep pretty much all my scraps. I'm going to need to cut this down. And I can just mark it off of another one here. Okay, now we got the same width and everything to it, so we need to cut these grooves here. So that's the next step. And now what I do is, all I do is center that. Okay, so I'll actually center the blade, and let me get it over here. I'll center it, but what I do is I like to offset it. Once I center it, find the center, I like to offset it just a little bit, because I'll show you what I do with it once I offset it. And just a little bit. Maybe not even the length, maybe half length of that blade. So you're just kind of kicking it over just a little bit. So if you find the center of this, and we pick a ruler here, take a ruler, and you find the center of it. Okay, so you actually need. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is this is 3/4 inch. So you're gonna need about 3/8 here. So if I use a 3/8 mark in the center, excuse me, then I can mark the end here. Okay, I can put a little mark on the end, and then just bring your blade over until you. So I'm gonna have to lower that blade, of course. And then, like I said, you want it a little bit on the other side of that mark. Not much, just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to want that blade up. Now, I'm just guessed at the first one I ever did, but you can do the same thing. But I'm pretty sure I brought that up to like about an 1/8 inch. It might be around an 1/8 inch. And that's pretty much what I did. And you can see how this one here fits. And so what I'm going to do is bring that blade. Let's go ahead. It's going to be a little hard to do it with this thing here, but I'll get her down there. Right. There you go. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. So I'm actually bringing this about 1/8 inch above the table, a little bit more. You could take a guess at it yourself. I mean, once you make your first one, and then after that, you'll get used to, how to cut it. If you want to cut that deeper. It's not a biggie because it doesn't take much to do it. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this cut. Turn it around this way. Do it again. by offsetting it, then you get a little bit wider gap here than what your saw blade is. So just by offsetting it a little bit on one side, you probably don't have to be as much as this here, but it really doesn't matter as long as it's not real big. You know, you don't want that frame to slide back and forth. So that's not too bad there. Okay, let's do the same thing to the next one. All we do is find the center of it, and it is a half inch, because it's 1 inch across. So we're going to need about a 1/2 inch mark on this one. So we can put the mark up this way. Do the same thing, but you don't have to move the blade now. You can leave the blade from going up and down like this. Just leave it alone, because when you do this cut for this one here, you're going to do the same for this one here. So both cuts are going to be the same, okay? Go. So we have 2 of them done here, and both these made out of poplar wood. You can see the dark color in it, and you got your grooves in it. Now, like I said, you don't have to make it this wide. I'm just showing you how I did it. These are a little bit more narrow than these are, but you can cut it down once you get it set up, and you're going to do a bunch of these, so you do them all at one time. So once it's set up like this, you just keep whipping them through, and then you do the same thing with the tops. You'll do the same thing with the top. So it doesn't matter, but this cut's not bad at all. So if I want to leave it like that, it'll be fine. Okay, what I need to do now is take this blade out and go ahead and set the data blade up in it, and I will show you guys how I got these little cuts here on the ends, just with the data blade, and I'll throw out some measurements for you. It's, I made this, it's just a little blocker, so you would kind of set against like this. So if you're cutting a lot of these, then you know you can put out a lot at one time. That way you can just kind of set it up against, and then flip this, and flip it, and flip it, you know. So what I got to do is set it up here, okay, and I'm going to put a clamp across there. If I get it on right, what I need to do is take it, let's say it's right. Oh, this is the wrong one, so we're gonna use this one here. Bring it up there. There we go. And then put a clamp on here. Okay, this is the top rail, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this top rail. And then there's 3 cuts on this. You're going to have a cut on both sides here, and then you're going to have a cut across here. So you can have 3 cuts. And this is, I marked it on this one here. It's a 1/2 inch from here to here. And then the depth on this thing here is 3/8, or 3/8 by, let's see. What's the gap on that? I don't know, so many different cuts you get. That's why I mark everything down. Yeah. Okay, like I said, there's 3/8 cut, so the blade's 3/8 of an inch high, and then no, it's an eighth inch high, and 3/8 an inch across here, and you bring it down to a 1/2 inch. So from the top down it's a 1/2 inch. You can see the 1/2 inch. I have the 1/2 inch marked over here. So, and you do a 3 cut. So let me go ahead and get started on this one. This will be my first. Alright. Plug it back here. first one done. See what it looks like. It's real simple. Now, I don't want to move that blade again. I want to leave that blade alone. So you don't want to raise the blade up and down, because my next cut on this one here, we're going to do the same. Okay? But we're going to cut the edges off like this here. So here we go again. Now we're only going to cut two sides. We're not going to cut the top. Okay, we're not going to cut the bottom. We're just going to cut the two sides. Okay, you're going to do an 1/8 inch or an 1/8 inch cut. The blade's set to it already, and 3/8 inch backward, back to here. From here to here, 3/8 of an inch. Now I'm just going to set this up. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set mine up. Since I've gave you a measurement, I'm just going to line this, the old one I have here, well, the recent one, the one I made a little while back. I'm just going to line it up, and you'll have to set your gauge when you make to do this. So here, okay, now remember, we're going to cut two sides. We don't cut all of it. We don't cut three like the other one. We're going to cut two sides. We cut the two sides. We don't cut the bottom or the top of it. Take it, turn it all the way over like that. Do this side here. And one more. Okay, here you go. I got get this thing to stop so I don't cut me. These are my two pattern. I always keep these with me, so I get ready to whatever I want to do with it. You know, if I want to cut some more, I can just set everything up with these two patterns. And I keep, when I make the patterns, I get to keep the exact same measurements on everything I do, so it doesn't increase or decrease on it. Okay, so now the only difference, now here's the other one. And you can see the cuts in it. You don't have to cut these ends if you don't want to. Now, I was just cutting them just to make them look something like this here. Now, if you want, you can cut the edges off real easy. You know, if you want to cut them off on the table saw, it's fine. You just cut a little here, flip it over, cut a little here. And then also, if you want to cut the angle on this, you can also do the same thing. You know, you can set your saw up, and then, you know, not the data blade, but the regular blade, and you can just cut it like this, and cut like so. You can use everything on the table saw that you make these, so you don't really need any other tools, but just a table saw. It's probably be the easiest. You know. So, let's see if I got a couple ends here. There's a few here. Let's see. One. See? Sets in there nice and snug, and this one. So I got a nice frame, plain and simple. Put a couple staples here and there in it. Put a foundation in this, and you get your own bee frames, and you can save a lot of money this way. All right, thanks for watching, and I sure hope it helped somebody out to make your own bee frames.